goes to him. Hey folks, my name is Joe Biden, and when you say "Run, Joe, run," it brings back memories of being at the top of Fifth Street in Scranton, and Charlie Roth wrote, "Run, Joe, run, the guys from the plot are coming up for you." So in the old days, when I had to run, it was to run away from a fight that I was always getting into.
Run, Joe, run!
Folks, the Bidens and the Finnegans and the Caseys and the Munleys and the Cartwrights, our families go back a long way. In some cases before I was even a kid. I lived in North Washington Avenue, Bobby and I were trying to figure out about 5 blocks from your home. We went to the same church, originally St. Paul's, then St. Clair's, and we learned our values, Bobby and me, at our kitchen tables. Me and my grandfather's kitchen table in 2446 North Washington, and I think Bobby at his father and family's kitchen table. I campaigned, which was a great privilege. I got elected when I was 29 years old, and one of the first out-of-state campaigns I spent time campaigning was for Governor Casey, and at that time it was a Senate race. It was a bad year, and I got to meet Ellen Casey. I think Bobby's mother, and I mean this sincerely, my word is abiding, is one of the finest women I've ever met in my entire life. And as Bobby will tell you, as we used to say in the Senate, if you excuse a point of personal privilege, there was only one exception. My mother, Catherine Eugenia Finnegan Biden. The granddaughter of one of the first Irish Catholics ever elected to the state Senate in Pennsylvania. A mining engineer named Edward Francis Blewett, who was elected in 1904. Bobby's entire family is here. His wife Teresa, who I love, Elise and her husband Michael, and Carolyn, Julia, Miranda, all of them are here. And I know Matt's family too, both sides. Marion is the better part. She's a Munley. Only kid. And they're all good people. You know, the same value set here in Luzerne and Lackawanna counties, the core of where I grew up. A simple value set about treating people with dignity. You know, both these men have what is desperately needed right now, and it's not hyperbole. They have great character. Both men with impressive personal as well as political records. They're men of honor. They're men of their word. Either one of them tell me they're going to do something, and they have, and we've worked together for years. I know I'll not get what happens today. Everything's relative today. Someone will make a commitment and say, I'll be there for you. And then when the time comes and they've realized it's a little hard, they'll say, well, I didn't know it was going to cost me this. I didn't know this was what it's going to be. So I can't be there. These guys do exactly what they say. Folks, Tuesday, this election day, there's something different about this year's election, as Bobby's already said. Something fundamental, pretty profound. I've traveled, as you can tell by my voice, to 22 states and campaigned for 63 candidates. The last 6 days alone, I've been in now 15 different towns and cities. And everywhere I go, there's and I mean it sincerely, Democrats, Republicans, I do what they call OTRs, off the record stops. I stop in the diners, I stop in the churches.
Fire diner!
A lot going on there. But among Democrats, Republicans, Independents, they're really, think about this now with your Republican friends, there's an insatiable desire for women and men with character to occupy high public office. This is not your father's Republican Party. No, it really isn't. This isn't the Republican Party any of you grew up with. As all three of us, if you notice, every time there's ever trouble with our administration, I'd be the guy to go up on Capitol Hill because I have so many Republican friends, for real. I don't think there's a Republican senator that treated me with respect because I know I've never ever misled them. And I've never questioned their motive, I question their judgment. And when you question judgment, as Matt knows, you can reach an agreement. You question somebody's motive, you can never get to go. And the only reason we're able to do anything in America is if we arrive at a consensus. That's why they're both so good at what they do. They're respected on both sides of the aisle. But here, folks, something new. The very character of our country is on the ballot. And really, all the world is looking. And in all the world, America's unique because we were not organized on ethnicity, not on religion or tribe, but on ideals, American ideals. That's what organized us as a nation. Fairness, decency, respect, equality, giving every one of God's children a fair shot. Tuesday is asking us to stand up for these American ideals again. Others don't see it that way, this new Republican Party. They see something much different and darker. Now remember, no clapping, just listen to me for this one. Listen to the way they speak and campaign. They seem to believe that shared American values are some form of outdated political correctness. That committing to something bigger than ourselves is naive. We're suckers. That facts are relative. But that's not what built America. That's not what made us the greatest nation of all time on earth. Americans were built by leaders who had integrity and empathy for others. Think about this. Have you heard any words of empathy from the Republic? No, I really mean it. It matters. It matters. Leaders like our military who left no one behind. The people who built America are leaders who gave aid no safe harbor. David Brooks, a conservative columnist, says that these ideals, he calls them the invisible moral fabric that holds societies together. And he says they're being shredded in this administration. Those values are being shredded. I wrote a year ago, I come out of the civil rights movement. When I moved from Scranton, and we were to Wilmington, Delaware, I only knew 2 African Americans in Scranton, in this area. Well, Delaware has the 8th largest black population in America. To our great shame, we were segregated by law. We were a slave state early on. We fought on the side of the North, but we were so-called border state like Maryland and so I come out of that. That's what got me engaged in public life. I wrote a year ago, after the horrific events in Charlottesville, that we are in the battle for America's soul. And I really mean it. It's not just me. Read John Meacham's new book, The Soul of America. We watched white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, David Dukes, and the neo-Nazis carrying torches and chant the same hateful bile we heard in the streets of Europe in the 30s. And when the president and the alt-right and Bannon, those guys, assign a moral equivalence between those dark forces and those opposing them, that was like pouring fuel on a fire of intolerance. And just what we saw, the fruits came quickly. Pipe bombs sent to me and some of my friends that my granddaughters could have picked up. 2 Americans African Americans killed in the supermarket in Kentucky because they're black. 11 Jews killed in the synagogue I know well in Pittsburgh. And all the vileness, all that violence in 1 week. Folks, our children are listening. They're watching. So the words of our leaders do matter. And silence is complicity. Silence is complicity. In this fateful election, we have a single moral responsibility to confront and defeat those forces who are trying to divide us, not only for our own sake, but for the sake of our children. We can. We have to stop their march. We can finish the job Barack and I started. We can restore the basic economic bargain that exists in this country. They're the two most fundamental things we have to do. Stop this violence and restore the bargain. The bargain to which Democrats and Republicans used to subscribe. The bargain that built the middle class. Here's what we have to do to restore and protect the bargain. It's about jobs, decent jobs. My dad, when we moved from Scranton because there was no work for him down in Delaware, he'd always say when someone lost their job, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about your honor. It's about your place in your community. It's about being able to turn and look at your child and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. And it starts with the right to bargain for your own worth. Stop this attack on organized labor and non-compete agreements for hourly wage. Stop stealing overtime from hourly wage areas, costing $400 billion last year. And for God's sake, listen to this man. Since when are Republicans against building infrastructure? We rank 29th in the world on our infrastructure. My God, this is the United States of America. The second thing we have to do, we have to have access to affordable and continued education. We need to reimagine. We have to reimagine the education system of the 21st century. Educate through post-high school. Folks, anybody think 12 years is enough in the 2020 and 2030 to have a decent job in America? Will include specialized certificates, apprenticeships, affordable community college. Fourthly, how can you live a middle-class life, as my dad did and so many others up here did? Stare at the ceiling at night thinking, my God, if I get sick, Gene and the kids, we lose everything. Affordable health care for families. Millions of Americans, as Bobby Prince said, now understand diabetes. It means you don't have to stare at that ceiling, wondering if I get cancer, what happens? Bob and Matt's opponents opposed, I love these guys. I don't even know them, I love them. They opposed the Affordable Care Act, and now they have, like, on the road to Damascus, they've had a conversion. They've seen the Lord. They still vote the wrong way. They oppose keeping your children on your insurance policy until they're 26. As unbelievable as they oppose mandating insurance companies cover pre-existing conditions to the harm of 4.5 million Pennsylvanians. You hear that? 4.5. Folks, as bad as all this would be, these Republicans are going beyond. Even the former Republican senators and congressmen of 10, 20 years ago that I worked with 30 years ago didn't do this. The ultimate target of this new Republican Party is to eviscerate the two most important programs that allow the elderly and retired to live a decent life: Medicare and Social Security. And they've been trying to cut these programs for years, the alt-right. And now, because of their horrendous tax bill, it added, not just was unfair, it added $1,900,000,000,000 more dollars to the already existing deficit. Now you'll not find one single solitary professor at any university, left, right, or center, will tell you we can carry that debt without significantly affecting American growth. So, we have to cut the deficit. Their new cry, we have to cut the deficit. And look where they're pointing their hatchets. As Bobby pointed out, they've already put in the budget to cut over 500, I think it's 37, 500, over $500 million in Medicare. No, think about this though. Not just, as Brock says, don't move, vote, and bring 5 people with you. But here's the deal. Think what this means. What uncertainty it causes, just thinking it may happen. Think of what it does. To my mom and my dad, who did not have the job I had. They had Social Security and they had Medicare. And then the majority leader, Senator McConnell, just made it very clear. Well, he did us a favor. No, he did us a favor because he was the only one who was flat out honest. He said that in order to deal with this deficit that they created, we're going to have to make even more cuts to Medicare and Social Security. And listen to their opponents on that. Everything from cost of living to a whole range of other things. Folks, well, not if I have anything to say about it, not if anything these guys have anything to say about it. You know, you need them both there. Not a joke. You desperately need them to keep this from happening. Matt's going to win again, but if he didn't win and we don't win back the House, this could become law. Now, if I told you they were going to pass that cockamamie tax bill, if I told you they're going to do some of the stupid things they've done, you said, no one would do that. I promise you, I'm going to say something outrageous. I think I know the Senate better than anybody living because I spent so much time there. And folks, they mean it. But here's the deal, guys. We can take care of this. Sure, I'm an optimist. I'm always referred to as an optimist. I tell them that's because I'm from Northeast Pennsylvania. Because I tell you what, it's the only way to live because you're a pessimist, you might as well just cash it all in. But the truth is, the United States of America right now is better positioned than any nation in the world to lead the world in the 21st century. We have the largest economy in the world. We're energy independent. We have the strongest military in the history of the world.
All right.
The finest research universities in the entire world. The most productive workforce, 3 times as productive as they are in Asia, by the way. And the most agile venture capitalists. This is not hyperbole. No other nation in the world, can match us. I've spent more time with Xi Jinping in China than any world leader. He would trade places in a heartbeat. They don't have enough energy. They don't have enough water. They've got a $500 billion project trying to change the direction of a river. Their land is polluted with cadmium. They're walking around with masks in Beijing because they're dying at 4 times the rate of lung cancer. They're going to have more cancer cases in the next 10 years than all the world combined. My God, folks. Where's our competition? If we remember who the hell we are. There's nothing beyond our capacity. The only thing strong enough to tear apart America is America itself. And we've seen the start. We have to stop it. And that's what truth is about. We have to make clear that Democrats choose hope over fear. Democrats choose unity over division. And most importantly, we choose truth over lies. If we do that, we can still own the 21st century. And this country has to come together. It's time to get up. Remember who in the hell we are. This is America.